If your circle doesn't support your vision, it's not a circle, it's a cage. I've been doing transformative work for close to 40 years with all sorts of human beings. And for those of you that have built successful businesses in your life, you know that what I'm talking about when I say this is accurate. The relationships that got you here might not be the one to get you there, wherever there is for you. So today we're going to dive right into something that affects every single one of us, but that we rarely talk about openly. How our relationships either fuel our vision or slowly suffocate our vision. And here's what's interesting about this whole thing. Dr. John Gottman's research shows that most relationship conflicts, especially the kind that's like gridlocked and never seems to get resolved, finds its roots in unfulfilled dreams. Think about that for a moment. The tension that you feel in your relationships might not be about the surface disagreement or argument. It's about the dreams that aren't being supported or fulfilled, the vision that isn't being honored. I'm going to share with you exactly how to identify whether or not your relationships are aligned with your vision and what to do when you see that they're not. And most importantly, how to have the conversation that can change everything. You don't have to choose between love and success because that's a false choice. And I'm going to prove it to you today. First point is there's a hidden cost of relationship misalignment. I had a client recently, let's call her Sarah, who came to me completely burnt out and exhausted, not from her business, which was actually thriving, doing really well. She had built a 7-figure company. She had an amazing team at work that worked with her. Everything looked great from the outside, but she was suffering inside. And when we really got into it, here's what was actually happening. Sarah had this deep desire for expansion in her business and exploration. She wanted to travel and expand her business internationally into other countries, to push herself in ways that she hadn't before. But with her romantic partner, he valued stability, routine, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just a different game. So what started happening between them was subtle, but it ended up being devastating. Every time Sarah would share an idea about expansion or travel, she'd see that look. That look, that slight kind of tension in the jaw, that pause before the supportive response that comes back at you. So she started making her dreams smaller, more palatable, less grand. She started to edit herself before she even spoke to her partner. Like, well, maybe we could travel just once a year, or what if I only opened one new office in another location instead of 3? She was minimizing and suffocating her own dreams to keep the peace and avoid conflict. Sound familiar? And here's what the research actually tells us. When we compromise our dreams for relationship harmony or seeming harmony, we create the very resentment that we're trying to avoid. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. I mean, you can only do that for a while before it eventually just explodes to the surface. That's the same kind of dynamic. So your relationships are either fuel for your dreams or they are friction against them. There is no little bit pregnant here. And if for those of you that are actually high achievers, you already actually know this in your businesses because you wouldn't keep an employee around who kept shooting down the goals of the company. You would be like, you're clearly not committed to what we're doing here. If they made you constantly second guess your every decision, why do we accept that in our personal relationships? That's the question. So the cost isn't just emotional, it's actually everything. It's the business opportunities that you miss. You don't pursue them because it's going to cause some sort of tension at home. It's the version of yourself that you never actually develop yourself to be because you're too busy managing everyone else's comfort level, their comfort zones. That's the real cost. Second point is the false choice that's keeping you stuck. So here's where Sarah's situation gets kind of interesting. She came to me, convinced that she had two options. She could either suppress her dreams, make them smaller, or end her relationship, black and white, right? All or nothing. And this is the biggest lie we tell ourselves in the situation, that we have to choose between our dreams and our relationships. Not so. See, I see this with a lot of my high performing clients all the time. They've been indoctrinated or conditioned to think in terms of trade offs. Success means sacrifice. That's kind of like a limiting belief we have, right? Wrong. That's scarcity thinking, and it is keeping you stuck. It is not necessary. So I asked Sarah a different question. Okay. What if the problem isn't your relationship? What if it's that you've never actually shared your real vision? See, Sarah had been sharing the edited, reduced version, the safe version, the one that, wouldn't rock the boat. Her partner wasn't even rejecting her real dreams because he had never actually heard them. And this happens for a lot of us. So what Sarah did was something brave. She had what I call a vision conversation, not a negotiation, not a compromise session, but a real raw sharing of what really mattered to her. And she invited her partner to share his vision too. So it's a co-creation, no judgment, just honesty, authenticity. So what happened next surprised her. Her partner didn't need to become, like an entrepreneur and be committed to what she was committed to. He didn't need to want the same things. But when he understood why growth mattered to her, why travel mattered to her, that it wasn't about being dissatisfied with him, but about becoming who she really felt she was meant to be, everything shifted in their relationship. They found ways to support each other's vision while actually staying true to their own values and dreams at the same time. So he started planning stability zones into their life. I love this thing. Times and spaces where their routine was sacred. And she started an adventure fund specifically for her growth experiences, travel experiences. They weren't identical, they were aligned. And that's the key. You don't have to have the same dreams. You just have to be aligned in what you're creating. And by the way, if you are realizing for yourself in this conversation that some of your relationships might not be supporting your vision or your dreams the way they could, and you want to get some help navigating those conversations, I work with people to do that all the time. And if you are interested in finding out more, click the link to book a call with me and we can discuss how I could support your success and fulfillment. There's a link in the description if you want to explore more what that could look like for you. Point 3, the 3-question relationship audit. This is key. So let me give you a process, something practical that you can actually use starting today. I call it the 3-question relationship audit. And every relationship in your life should pass this test. Question 1, does this relationship uplift and support my dreams? Or does it consistently hold me back? And I want you to be honest about this, not about their intentions. I am sure the people in your life have all the best intentions. They mean well. This is about the actual impact. When you leave their presence, are you feeling more energized about your vision and your dreams? Or are you more doubtful? Are you dragged down? Question 2, can I openly express my goals and dreams and values without feeling judged or dismissed? This isn't about agreement. It's about acceptance. Can you say, I want to build $100 million business and not feel judged or immediately having them list all the reasons why that's not possible. That's a key question. The third question is, do we create the space for each other to grow, or are we stuck in old patterns? Growth requires alterations. And if your relationships are built on who you were 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or a year ago, you're going to resist who you're becoming inside of that relationship. So let me tell you about another person that I worked with. His name was Mark, and he's another client of mine, creative entrepreneur, brilliant, actually, incredible mind, surrounded by friends who played it safe. They were good people. They loved him, but every time he would share a big idea, the response was, predictable from them. That's really risky. Are you sure that's a good idea? You might want to stay a little bit more in your comfort zone. What if it doesn't work? Hmm. Mark realized that it was actually a pretty powerful thing. He could still care about these people, these friends, while also surrounding himself with people who actually believed in big ideas and were acting on big ideas. He didn't have to cut anyone off. He just expanded his circle. He started attending mastermind groups and connected with other entrepreneurs that were actually up to impacting their businesses. And here's what happened. His confidence skyrocketed. His business exploded. And interestingly, some of his old friends started actually getting curious about what he was starting to create and accomplish. See, your network of people should reflect your ambition, not your comfort zone. The research on this is actually really clear. We become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. Oh my gosh, think about that. So if your 5 closest friends are telling you to play it safe, guess what you're going to do? Yeah, play it safe. Fourth point is the conversation that actually changes everything. So how do you actually have these conversations with people? Because I know some of you are thinking, this is sounds really great, Jocelyn, except my partner or my friends would freak out if I started to bring this up. I understand. So let me offer you this. Here's the framework. And this has worked for hundreds of my clients. So this actually works. First, you share your vision authentically, not the watered down version that you're trying to play it safe with, the real one, the one that scares you a little bit, scares you to say out loud. Second, you listen to their vision without judgment, even if it's like completely different than yours and you don't even see it possible. Third, you find the intersection where both of you can actually be aligned and thrive. Most relationship problems are actually communication problems in disguise as relationship problems. We're so busy protecting each other's feelings or protecting ourselves that we never actually share authentically. But here's what I've learned after close to 40 years of coaching people. The people who actually belong in your circle, in your life, will rise to meet your vision, not have you shrink it. You never know how people are taking what you say. My husband and I share our goals and dreams almost daily. And in the last 31 and a half years, we have had 5 fights. 5 fights. Some of you had 5 fights this morning. Insane, right? But it's not a magical potion. It's that we are constantly in authentic communication with each other about what we truly want. It's not about even having the same dreams because we don't. It's about supporting each other's vision, supporting each other's dream. The people who truly belong in your life will celebrate your vision. They will not just tolerate it, they'll celebrate it. And then they'll find ways to support you. They won't, talk about how it's not possible. They will contribute to your growth, not stifle it. They're not going to be threatened by it. So, here's what we've uncovered today in this episode. The choice between relationships and vision is fate, okay? You do not have to choose. You can have it all. You don't have to decide between them. You have to include them both and design conversations that actually create space for your vision in those relationships, as well as their vision. Choose conversations that reveal rather than hide, and surround yourself with people who not only see your potential, but see their potential. If they're stuck in their limitations, they're going to reflect that on you. So now you have permission. I have given you permission to stop making yourself smaller for other people's comfort zone. Your vision matters, and the right relationships will support them. So they won't suppress them, they'll support them. But here's what we haven't really delved into yet. There is a specific type of relationship that's even more critical to your success in fulfilling your vision than romantic partnerships or friendships. It's the actual relationship that determines whether or not you are going to achieve your vision or just keep dreaming about it and chasing it. And most high achievers are sabotaging this constantly without even knowing it. It's a blind spot for people. So if you want to discover more about how to live your dreams, not chase them or sabotage them, watch the next video, go deeper into the world of being unmessable with.